To today's AM Power Call. I am your host this morning, Heidi Stallard, the Chief Impact Officer here at Vital Health, and I am just so excited to dive right in to our training today. But real quick, just in case, I know I see some new faces here. If you don't know who I am or what I do or where I fit into this puzzle of the mission that we are creating and the movement that we are creating, my name is Heidi Stallard. Like I said, I am outside of Fort Worth, Texas, and I have been in the network marketing industry for over 10 years now. And my husband is Miles Stallard. He's our national sales director, and we have absolutely fallen in love with this industry. And when we took a look at Vital Health, it has, well, let me just start here before I really dive into that. Miles and I, we were with a company for a long time, went through some different changes, and we were really at a place where we started looking for different companies that we wanted to partner with because we believed in the mission that network marketing has to offer, allowing people to really create a life on their own terms and to have financial flexibility. I'm going to turn the brightness up on my computer. To really allow them to have financial flexibility. This industry has blessed our family so tremendously. My husband and I, we have gotten to, we're verified multi-seven-figure earners. We've traveled all over the world. We've helped, hundreds of thousands of people in our career. And those accolades are really cool, but to be honest with you, the things that matter to me are really just the things that matter to most people, which is like the fact that, my daughter is going to be 8 years old this year and she's never seen her parents have to, go to a job. We've been able to be a full-time family first. And then, everything comes out, for us, our family kind of relies on like a tiered system. It's like God first, then family, then everything else. And so we've really been able to adhere to that because of the flexibility that we've had over the years. And because of this industry, we've been able to do some pretty incredible things. We've been able to sow seed into causes that we're passionate about and being able to see changes happen in people's lives and in our communities. We've gotten to be there for our families during very critical moments. My sister, I'm the youngest of four girls. I have three older sisters. I would say the first time that network marketing really, like the power of like having control of not only your finances, but your time, like when it really hit me was when my sister, who has six children, well, now she has seven, but she has six children at the time, their house burnt down and she lived over an hour away from me at that point, and they lost literally everything. It was a absolutely devastating fire. If you have ever lost anything in a fire, have ever known anybody that has lost anything in a fire or some type of tragic event like that, you know how it quite literally disrupts the foundation of the family. And that's what happened to my sister and her family. Praise the Lord, they're in a great standing now, but it was absolutely crazy. And I was actually able to cancel all my appointments immediately and just fly down the highway to get to her family as quick as possible. We took my nephew in for some time, basically helped to buy him a new wardrobe, helped, financially with things. And that's when I was like, whoa, that's really what this industry is about. Like being able to provide a solution for the people that you love when they're in a pinch, like that's not a brag on me, that's a brag on the industry. Like that is like something that I think all of us innately desire, is to, deeply care for the people we love. Even with, that was like the first time I was, I was 20, I think I was 25 or 26 when that happened. And so, just that wildlife experience of realizing at such a young age. And then again, when my grandmother, who, passed away, God rest her soul, I know it is. But she had a really long journey. And this industry actually allowed my grandmother to make an income while she was wheelchair bound and immobile on oxygen. She was able to build from her little Facebook and actually built a check that matched her Social Security. And that was like the best gift, because not only did that help her financially, but really what it did was it helped her heart. It helped her just feel like she had a purpose and a mission in the world, and like she was connected to a community and people, and that she was still, had something to offer. And I think that really did a lot for her. And then the products actually, really helped her too. So there are things like that, and then she struggled, and what she had was a chronic illness. And so eventually she did pass, but through that journey, I was able to be there for my mom, be there for my grandmother. And I will tell you that if you're new on this call, you might look at this industry, or you might look at, this opportunity that we have here with Vital Health, and it might just seem like, something that is really cool and like something to aspire to. And it's definitely something to aspire to. But I think once you have a taste of significance like that, and this is always a quote I go back to by John Maxwell, it's like success will no longer satisfy you. Like all of those accolades I just told you guys about, they're really cool, but like they're nothing compared to the moments that I've gotten to experience with my family like that, being a full-time family first, being there for my family financially, being there in critical moments, and being able to be present in those moments when it mattered, not having to call somebody and worry about a job, or worry about my, getting kicked off the schedule, or getting my hours cut, all things that I dealt with prior to network marketing. And I know many people do. And so anyways, that's a little bit of my story. I hope that inspires you today, because when I got started in this industry a little over 10 years ago, I wanted to get started for an extra $500 to $1,000 a month so that I just didn't have to bartend on the weekends. That's the truth. Little did I know what would come after that. And so my first piece of advice for you on today's AM Power Call is simply to believe much bigger, much sooner, because you never know where this could take you. And even if you are making $500 a month, like that is a significant change to your bottom line on a yearly basis. And so, whether you're making $500 a month, or you're making $5,000 a month, or you're making $25,000 a month, or, $50,000 a month, or $500,000 a month, because I have many friends that do, that's the beauty of this is, it's going to be able to just give you that flexibility and freedom to really be what I believe is your best self. Because when you don't have to worry about how you're feeling because you're taking incredible products, and you're not having to worry about bills, it just allows your mind to open up and really be able to evolve in a way that really unlocks a new version of yourself. So guys, our AM Power Calls, you can catch these every single day, same time, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. That would be 8 Pacific, 9 Mountain, 11 Eastern. You can catch them every day, Monday through Friday. We're going to be bringing you value. Today, we're going to be talking about building momentum. But if you are unable to catch the AM Power Call, I want to invite you to actually join and follow our podcast on any podcasting platform that you have access to. Spotify, Apple Podcasts is where I listen to my podcast. We've got it on YouTube. So all of these recordings are posted within like 24 to 48 hours. And you can come back and listen to them. So if you're needing a moment of inspiration and you want to learn how to build some momentum, you can come back, listen to this again later. If you miss one of our calls, we invite you to come back and listen to it. And I will tell you, having access to something like this is, I would have dreamed of 10 years ago. Okay, I got started in the industry when we were building, all in person. And when we did a team call, we're using freeconferencecall.com. So to have Zoom and have podcasts and have a YouTube channel and Facebook community groups is like, it's like heaven. Okay, so without any further ado, guys, I'm going to go ahead and actually share with you a couple of things. I believe our incredible VP of marketing has already posted it in the chat, but I'm just going to repost it really quick. I'm going to actually be, oh, you're the best, James. Guys, can we give James a round of applause? He is just the best. Or give him some hearts. Yeah, go like his comment in the chat. I'm going to actually be referencing, let me pull it up for you guys. This right here, let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for you guys. Is that going to work? That's okay. I will zoom in. So I'm going to be referencing this notebook, or this workbook, not notebook. I'm going to be referencing this workbook from today. And I will tell you exactly where you can find this, because James told me that he uploaded it this morning for you guys in our Boards app. And so if you go to the Boards app under Library and Training, you will be able to find this book today. Now you can also click the link in the chat and you can go ahead and bookmark it. And I would highly recommend you do, because this workbook is 116 pages of absolute pure gold, actually created by our VP of sales, Mr. David Nieves, from, decades of experience in the industry. And so guys, this is money. Okay. If you want to know what me and my husband have learned over our period of time, it is pretty much everything that's in this book. And so, I will tell you, going back through it, reading it all again is amazing. This was actually our very first workbook that we used for our very first Vital Health event back in September. And so this is accessible for you in the Boards app. And I'm just going to go ahead and actually, here, I think I can type in a page here. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and actually start out on page 30. Well, actually, I think the pages are a little bit out of order, if I'm being honest. So like when you click on pages down here, it's going to show this, but when you click on the actual pages of the book, it's really going to be, because it's got some cover pages. So page 32 in the book, or if you're using the Finder on the flip book, it's going to be pages 36 through 37. Now I'll zoom in for you guys, but if you're in a place where you're driving, or maybe you're watching this on video, don't worry. I am going to be talking about it in person, or talking about it so that we can help you. But real quick, I'm going to turn on this light. And my pregnancy hormones are hitting, so please excuse me. I have to put my hair up, or I'm gonna start sweating to death here. So I'm like, we got to keep it moving. So the show must go on. All right, so today we're actually going to be talking about the different stages of momentum. And this whole section, I would say, let's see, I actually have it from pages 32 all the way to really, well, it goes on for quite a while longer, but I'm going to be stopping at like page 49 today. Now, I'm not going to go over every single thing today, because obviously I want to limit the amount of information that I fire hose you with. But I think it's very important to understand whether you are advanced in this industry, or maybe you've been around Vital Health for a while, or maybe you're like brand new baby newborn day one. That is okay. This is going to be so helpful for you to understand what momentum is and how it is created. Okay, so if you do not know what momentum is sharing the information with a lot of people in a very short period of time. So if you were to break this down almost into, like, if you want to know the formula for momentum, it is number of exposures times speed equals momentum. Number of exposures times speed momentum. You can write that in the chat below. But that is going to be your formula for building momentum. And what I mean by this is that if you want to be able to create momentum, which is where you go fast in business, and I will tell you, this business is so much easier to build fast than it is to build slow. So if you're somebody that is, just getting started and you want to take your time, I highly encourage you to go at a pace that, feels comfortable for you. But I would also encourage you just a little bit more to, again, believe much bigger, much sooner, and to go faster than you think. Because if you can catch momentum in this business, that is where things get absolutely insane. And I will tell you, I can testify to this. My husband and I, anytime we've ever built momentum, and once you figure out the formula for momentum and how to create it, which is just exposing a lot of people in a short period of time, that's what creates explosive growth in your business and in your, in your financial bottom line. Is once you have figured out how to do that, it's really a skill that you can duplicate over and over and over again, either with your own network or with people that are coming into your organization, where you can actually tap into momentum and help them to expose a lot of people in a short period of time. That's why we do Vital Health events, whether that is virtually or in home, is because it's much easier for you to invite 30 people and have, 15 of them show up at your house or on a Zoom and expose them all at the same time than to talk to one person every day for 30 days. So if we can start you off with a bang, obviously that's now we've got, say that you invite 30 people to a virtual Vital Health event where your upline leader does a private overview for you, or maybe you invite 30 people to our overviews on a Tuesday, and you know, you invite 30 of them, only 15 show, right? Because that's just the ratios, like, of how things work, right? People are going to be busy, they're not going to be interested, they've already got something planned, they say they'll be there, their dog will get sick, their flat tire will happen, whatever it is. 15 will show up. Well, now, from there, maybe 5 of them get started on the spot. And then we have another 5 over the next 2 weeks that have to get their finances together, want to try the product, have to dig in a little bit more, they come on a little bit later, right? So like the numbers move quicker and faster when you are able to figure this out. Now, when you are able to do this time and time again, it creates the illusion that momentum will last forever. So I'm going to share with you guys the stages of momentum. I'm going to share with you the 4 stages of momentum. And then I'm even going to go a little bit deeper and show you guys a really cool graph that well, let me just save that for later. Okay, let's dive right in. So stage 1 of creating momentum is momentum builds with a steady influx of new business partners and customers that energize your business. And you must understand that momentum is very fragile. You can have it very quickly and you can lose it in an instant, meaning like, again, if you were to build this big pop of, in volume and people were to come in, but you didn't do anything with those people, or you just completely neglected your business or didn't look at your phone for the next 2 months, obviously it's going to be very hard to sustain. But in order to create this momentum, you want to focus on delivering numerous and rapid exposures within a short period of time. This approach leverages the law of averages. So I was already kind of talking about that, right? I was talking about ratios, maximizing your chances for success and driving sustained growth. The second step is to generate momentum is to identify and cultivate emerging leaders amongst new business partners joining your team. So, right, we talked about how, you can invite 30 people today to look at some information tonight, right? We have an overview literally tonight. Or you can take the next 30 days to talk to 30 people. The difference between the person that's going to advance quicker is that they're going to do it they're going to do it at a faster speed. So I'll tell you, when I first got started in this industry, I did not come out of my husband, it was like crazy. Like we were dating at the time. So we started separately. I started about 2 months after him. But he like hit the ground running, because shortly after he got started, I had to leave to do a study abroad in China. It was like a summer study program. And he was like, "Oh, now is my time. I have no distractions and nobody like, in his ear," because I was very negative. And he got to work and he started inviting anybody and everybody. So by year, by month 3, he was absolutely exploding. For me, it was a little bit different, right? Like if you're somebody on the call and you're like, "I don't have 30 people to talk to," let me just nip that in the bud. Are you open to coaching? Because it's not, I'm going to assume you're saying yes. Because if you're on this call today, that tells me that you're looking to improve your skill set and your desire is to have success here. And so if you're on this call, I'm going to assume that the answer to the question, "Are you open to coaching?" is yes. And I say open because I want you to make that, that physical and mental switch right now to be open to what I'm about to say, because I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. If that's you. If you're like me, I was like, I have nobody to talk to. I don't know that many people. I don't talk to 30 people on a daily basis, not people that I can talk to about a business, right? If that's you, I want you to tell yourself right now, "I'm open to coaching." Say it out loud, write it in the chat. I want you to say, "I'm open to coaching and I'm open to improvement, even if it's not what I want to hear." Okay? Because the truth is, It's not that you don't know enough people, okay? It may be that you do, maybe you already work from home and you might talk to the same, 2 or 3 people virtually, remotely, outside of your family. Maybe you're single. I don't know. Maybe you're single and you work a remote job and you're like, I literally talk to nobody. I am quite frankly a hermit. And guys, I'm gonna be real. I have a very outgoing personality, but if I could be honest with you, if I could be a hermit for the rest of my life, I would be. So please do not think that this is a personality choice, okay? Like everybody feels that way. But it's not that you don't know people, okay? Statistically, the average person knows 2,000 people by first and last name. It's not that you don't know people, it's that you're not recalling them right now. And so that is somewhat of a different conversation, but I also want to open you up to the possibility that, the planet has like 8 billion people and billions of people every day are being born and billions of people every day are turning, 18. So it's not that you don't know people or that they're not people out there. It's just that you have to be open to, communicating with people. And so I'm not going to talk so much about inviting today, but I just want you to know, and there are some scripts in here. So it's good that I'm giving you this today. I believe they're actually on they're in this section and they start on page, there's a whole bunch. Page 30, the pages are all messed up. Page 40-ish. Okay, there's multiple. Page 41. And so here's what I'll tell you guys. So now that you've created momentum, you've talked to a lot of people, because when I got started in this business 10 years ago, I didn't know a lot of people. I worked in a bar. The girls I hung out with when I was working, they were off. When I was off, they were working. Outside of that, I went to school, but I didn't have any friends at school because I was a little bit older than the people that I was going to school with. I was also working full time and driving an hour to go to school. So it wasn't like I hung out on campus, right? So I just didn't really have a lot of friends. When I left high school, I was like, peace out, suckers. I'm never having anything to do with y'all. Okay. So I did not love my high school experience like some people. So I didn't have like this like incredibly robust network of people that I could talk to. And I was living an hour and a half away from my hometown. So I was very much like, I don't know anybody, but you know what I realized? It doesn't matter. Somebody told me create a list of 100 people. I did. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to sit there and think about who would like to do this, who wouldn't like to do this. They said, don't pre-qualify, put everybody that you can think of on a list, and don't worry about how you're going to talk to them. Just put them on the list. Make the exercise worth your time and just put 100 people on a list. And what I found out was once I made that list of 100 people, all right, you know what? Now that I started talking to people, there were several people over the last few years that I had talked to, whether it was new friends or old friends or classmates or people that I had used to work with. And I really just started to look at that and be like, hey, you know what? These are all people I can build relationships with. And so I hit the ground running. I actually had a list of about 300 people when I first got started. I had absolutely zero results within my first 6 weeks. But by 8 weeks, I had, from the time of 6 weeks, and when I recruited my first person and customer, that I actually went back to all the people that I had been talking to and let them know that, hey, this is working. And so then I was able to expose people at a faster pace. And by the time my 8th week rolled around, I had done 10,000 in volume. And then fast forward, by my 13th week in business, I had to produce 50,000 in volume. And so when I say expose a lot of people in a short period of time, even if the ratios are not like that, you're having success within your first month, keep planting those seeds, because as soon as you start to have a little bit of success, you've already planted those seeds and you're going to go back and you're going to water them all and share with them the updates and the proof. People that were like, this is not my jam. I went back and I was like, hey, I know you said it wasn't your jam, but I'm actually having success here. You sure you don't want to check it out? It might have taken 3 or 4 follow-ups for me to do that, as I progressed, that they finally were like, you know what? I see this is working for you. Let me see. So let's talk about now how we're going to advance momentum. Stage 2 of advancing momentum, you expose a lot of people in a short period of time. Momentum does have a natural lifespan. So we talked about, if you can figure out the stages of momentum, you can keep it going it seems to build the illusion that you can keep it going forever, but you can always extend momentum by doing stage 2. So key to maintaining momentum is identifying the next leader who can drive progress through rapid and frequent exposures within a short period of time. The reality is, guys, I started with a list of 300 people. It doesn't mean that I contacted all 300 people. I maybe contacted 100, 150. And then it was like, where do I go from there? I talk to everybody, right? So instead of trying to like figure out how to talk to the other 150, well, that was okay. I now had, 5 new teammates that had lists of their own, that had 30 people that they did talk to. And so I was no longer focused on my list. And this is how, this is how you relieve the pressure off of yourself. In the beginning, it does feel like, oh my goodness, because it's like lone army of one. You're going to war, baby. But then once you've built that army, now you're just helping and you're just developing people, while still, of course, adding to your own list. But your key to maintain momentum is to identify the next leader who can drive progress through rapid and frequent exposures within the short period of time. So additionally, for long-term sustainability, ensure that these crucial factors are in place. Now, this is pretty much already built into what we're doing. We're recognizing rank advancements. On Saturday, people are getting paid. We have a success and product testimonial Facebook group. One of the skills you'll want to learn is identifying that next leader that will create momentum. So if somebody's new, excited, they're hungry, they're willing, increase your averages by increasing your numbers, meaning that like talk to more people, help your teammates more, learn how to be a presenter and teaching presenters. I always tell people, you want to create presenters and promoters. That's another training for another day. You want to go affiliate for affiliate within 24 hours, launching properly every rep within 48 hours, meaning like the fastest way you're going to grow and sustain momentum is if you're helping people take action as quick as possible. The second that you bring somebody into the business, I always let people know during the enrollment process, like, hey, if you are getting started within the next 24 to 48 hours, I want to sit down with you and actually build out a launch plan and talk about your goals so that we know what you want. And during that launch plan, I just take them through, like I plug them into our systems. I make sure they know when our calls are. I make sure they know how to hit the rank of bronze and silver. And then I'm like, all right, we need to create a list. And when can we have an event for you? Or when can we start inviting for, if it's on a Monday, I'm like, can we start inviting for our Tuesday overview, that we already have in place. Stage 3 is really sustaining that momentum. To maintain momentum, it's essential to promote and integrate leadership meetings, focus on identifying and developing leaders, as well as training them to become duplicate successful presenters. Aim to have at least 100 attendees for these meetings. Now, this is obviously where some of like the diamonds and everybody are at, but that's something that you want to aspire to. So it might seem out of, reach for you right now. But here's the real deal that I want you to understand is that if you're wondering if you're bringing people in and you're wondering why they're not having success at the rate that you feel like they should be having success at, I'll just tell you right now, a couple of checkpoints is, are you launching your people? Write this down. If you feel like your team isn't having the success that you feel like they should be having right out the gate, are you launching them within 48 hours? To help them create a list and get into action inviting. Are you making sure that they're on the team calls, like, just being like giving them gentle reminders. Hey, I know that you're new, for your first week or two, I'll just be gently reminding you, that we do have certain team calls. You'll obviously get it through our team chats, but just want to make sure you're on, and then following up with them and sending them messages. Like if you're on one of the calls, just sending them, hey, I'm on the call. Are you on too? And then just connecting with them about that. And then also making sure that like you're recognizing any effort. Hey, I'm so proud of you for being on 3 of the calls this week. It was absolutely incredible. Or making sure to send them the overview. So that's really how you're going to develop them. And then lastly, for stage 4 is multiplying momentum. In this stage, we're going to focus on expanding momentum by having multiple leaders actively work with their respective teams, applying the principles from stages 1 through 3. Each leader should identify and develop new leaders within their team, ensuring they operate within a structured environment. Additionally, it's crucial for each leader to understand how to achieve their goals effectively. So this is helping leaders, figure out what their goals are, how to get there, and helping them identify the people on their team. Now, this is the part where I'm going to skip to page 49. Now, I do encourage you guys to go through and check out some of the information that is within these pages because it is so key. I'll just actually go through and tell you what's on each page really quick. We have a momentum creed. Oh, wait, we have 4 questions that leaders ask themselves to identify the spark of momentum within the organization. Who's the newest person, most influential person in the deepest level of my team? Who's your potential builders? Who's your projects? And who can create massive exposures? I'm going to share with you guys more about that here in a moment. We've got how to recruit here. We've got like what you need to do, steps 1 through 4 on recruiting, how to have a recruiter's mindset, how to edify people so they listen to what you're bringing, what value you're bringing, how to do 3-way calls with your upline mentors. We have several different recruiting scripts and conversation starters. And then here is the kicker that I wanted to get you guys to, which is this right here. This is our Tap Rooting for Leaders matrix. And the whole reason that I want to show you guys this right now, if you're brand new, I don't want you to feel like you should have this mastered by any means, but it is something to look forward to as you're building your team. Now, if you are somebody that has been in for even just a little bit of time, has a couple of people on your team, this is a great thing to like help you to evaluate throughout the month, like starting the beginning of the month, who to focus on within your organization, and at the end of the month, who to focus on within your organization to close that month strong and really have that platform to building the next month even bigger, because the way you close this month is always going to be how you start the next month. Okay, so for those of you guys that are listening on our podcast, I just want you to draw a big X down a slice of paper, like vertically, or a big cross, I should say, a big, vertically and then horizontally. And in your top left-hand corner, write the word leaders. In your top right-hand corner, write the word affiliates. On the bottom right-hand corner, write NPOM, NPOM. This stands for newest possibility of momentum. And then on the bottom left-hand corner, sorry, I'm trying to zoom out. There we go, is I want you to write the word projects. So it should be from top left to bottom left. It's leaders in the left top, new affiliates in the right top. Right bottom is NPOM, left is project, bottom left is projects. And then on the side, on the left side of your paper, going from bottom to top, I want you to write the words mentoring zone. And on the right side of your paper, going from top to bottom, I want you to write the word work zone. Now, this is a great way for you to evaluate who to be working with within your organization. Now, you're going to go through stages, and really as you are working with more and more people, this will get even faster and faster and bigger. But if you're wondering where you can build momentum, how you can sustain momentum long term, it's really by using this grid right here. Now, what I recommend everybody to do is write under their new affiliates box all your new affiliates that have come into your business within like the last month. That way you're keeping track of has everybody been launched? Is everybody hopping on the calls? Has everybody had, their own personal vital health meeting, vital VHM? Have they taken action yet? Because your new affiliates are going to be the people that are like the newest, people that have potential. Now, once you figured out who your new affiliates are, your NPOMs are those people that are your newest possibility of momentum, right? These are your people that are like your newest, most excited people that have the most potential. And when I say most potential, I don't mean that they look a certain way, they act a certain way, they've had a certain amount of success. I'm saying that they are coachable, willing, and hungry, meaning that they are on fire, they're hungry, right? They're coachable, meaning that they're going to make a list and they're willing to invite that list and take action. And so these are the people that you're like, okay, not only are these new affiliates, but these are the new affiliates that they're like, I am ready to go. I am like ready to change my life. So this is your work zone, your new affiliates and your NPOM. These are the people that you're going to be working with on a daily basis or every other day basis with your other leaders on your team, that you're really helping to develop and help them have success immediately. So your NPOMs, you want to make sure that they're getting launched, hopping on the calls, taking action, or your new affiliates, you want to make sure they're getting launched, hopping on the calls, taking action. Your NPOMs are the people that are doing it. They're like, have their list together. They're inviting people. They're showing up on the calls. They're, inviting people to the calls. Next from there, from your in-poms are your projects. These are people that have now, they've identified like, okay, they are having some results and they're on fire and they're plugging in and they're wanting to grow more, right? So these might be your people that have, hit bronze or hit silver and they're plugging into the AM power calls, or they're listening to the recordings, or they're inviting people still. And now we need to develop these people into being leaders. And so you want to make sure that those people, you're giving them coaching on how to coach their people. You're holding them accountable on, how they can help their new affiliates. You're, making sure that they're up leveling their skill set. They're learning how to close. They're learning how to present. You're getting them on, testimonial calls or featuring them in different things so that, they're really building their confidence and skill set. And then lastly is the people that are leaders. Now, these are the people that you have developed and they're hitting, platinum, diamond ranks. And these are the people that, have basically risen up within your organization of leaders. Now, notice that this says the mentoring zone on the left-hand side there, because your leaders, you don't just leave them, right? It becomes more of a collaborative effort when you're working with leaders because they've been developed, years, as somebody that's still been in the industry for 10 years, David and Brooke were constantly learning alongside them. I'm constantly learning alongside some of the incredible diamonds that we have within this organization. We've got Eric, we've got James, we've got Michael, we've got May, we've got Tara, we've got Abby. I mean, there's so many incredible diamonds. So it's like I'm learning alongside them, And so, your leaders, their organizations, guess what? It recycles. Your leaders are going to be the organizations that are going to be bringing in those new affiliates. And so your job with your leaders is to be helping them work this momentum matrix so that you're constantly adding new blood. Your leaders' organizations, we're like asking them, where are your new affiliates? Where are the new in-poms? And if you're wondering how to help those leaders, how to develop them, you're just going to keep circling back through this matrix. And that's how you help people. Now, this is a great tool to use for beginning the month and ending the month. Even if you're somebody that's like only, pretty fairly new, this is a very good thing to learn in the beginning, because having a list of who your new affiliates are and how you can best support them is going to be very helpful. Now, as we go further in this, it's going to talk about taprooting and how you can keep doing that. But I hope today that this brought you some value. If this gave you I'm very much a systems gal, like my brain has to work in processes. So if you, feel like this was helpful for you, like for me to have a visual of like how I can best support people and to pull them through, and how I can continue to, build that momentum and create that skill set, and to be able to look at my leaders within the organization and to identify like who's my leaders, where can we get those next new wave of affiliates, that new blood, and to keep recycling momentum year over year over year over year. That's how you continue to rank up further and further and further. So I hope that this was helpful for you guys today. We do have our overview tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure to tune in and join us for that. And we also have our AM Power calls every single Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And this week, we also have our Vital Academy on Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. So thank you guys so much for being on today. I hope this was of value to you, and that you go check out this handbook, From Zero to Hero, A Millionaire's Guide to Network Marketing, and that it changes your life the same way it's changed ours. Thank you guys for being on tonight. Love you guys so much. Take care. God bless, and we'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.